Welcome to the JAMODI podcast. We are all surrounded by amazing coaches and leaders. So let's get an inside look at not just what they do, but how they do what they do. After all, becoming the best versions of ourselves is JAMODI, just a matter of doing it. The JAMODI podcast is powered by Sideline Interactive. Sideline Interactive is the leading manufacturer for high-quality, innovative scoring tables and LED video display boards that help coaches and schools bring more excitement to fans, create huge fundraising opportunities, and make their jobs easier. Visit sidelineinteractive.com to check out their amazing products. Tell me a little bit about the game plan. Now that you've answered those questions, the game plan that you take players through.
Yes. So you answer those questions. We know who you are as a person and a player. Now we're going to build our DMs, okay, and build our email templates. And it's just very important that you do it in a very structured and poised way that's going to make life easy on the college coaches, okay? So we are vital info only, okay? I have a strategy called the hook strategy where we essentially boil down your entire DM into the first line so these coaches don't even have to open your message to be intrigued by you. And I'll even give that away. Like, it's no problem. If I were to do it, okay, it would have said my GPA, which is a great GPA. It would have said, my 3-point shooting percentage, if it's high enough, with the number of attempts, and then I would have said 5A Texas, with a second team all district, something along those lines. So notice I'm 5'8". I did not put my height because I don't want to be judged before somebody watches something.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be sneaky. I'm going to be forthright about my height, but as a hook, you want to tell the story of the best things about yourself. So I'm teaching players how to do that. I give an honest formula of what it will take, how many you need to be sending a day.
Yeah, that number blew me away. I know. I was thinking like 1 or 2 a day, but it shows. I mean, and you can feel free to share as much about that as you want. But it shows just how much homework these players need to be doing. Because if you're not going out and finding schools that you're interested in, if you're just waiting for schools to find interest in you, you're not going to have a list to DM or send out. You're gonna run out of names in a day based on your formula.
Yes, and at the lowest level, most people deem Division III JUCO or NAI the lowest level. I don't whatever it is for you.
And I went and watched Sagu play John Brown. Those dudes are big, they're fast, and they're good.
You want a caveat here? I would say the biggest separator of levels is genetics. It's not skill. It's genetics. It's God-given talent.
Yep.
The Division I's can jump higher. They're bigger in stature. But by and large, outside of like the high major kids, what Grant Nelson did at Alabama, 6'11", can shoot threes, what he did last night to UNC. That's crazy stuff.
Yeah,
like he's the top of the top, but by and large, the biggest separators between, I'd say, low Division I, low major, all the way to Division III is you're looking at genetics. So the lowest levels, okay, D3, NAIA, JUCO, whatever. Between all three of those, there's 1,100 schools in the nation. And then you do your fit, right? You do how far you're willing to go, what majors you're willing to do, and you're probably cutting those schools in half. And so let's say we have 600 schools to hit. We want to create a realistic timeline. And once you create all your DMs and your email templates, you want to do some research and have your fits ready to go. So I provide what's called a recruiting tracker. And in the recruiting tracker, this thing is insane. I have every coach's email and Twitter, and I update those monthly. And then I have their team websites, the basketball questionnaire of those teams, and then the majors websites of every college in the country. And so what you can do is with a click of a button, you can do all your research really, really fast.
Yep.
And if you get the game plan part done and you do all this stuff up front, now you've got it. And now you're just sending DMs and emails constantly, and you're following up. And that's
I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Blown away by it, man.
The
Like
recruiting tracker?
the amount of time that you put in to do that and make that. It is such a valuable tool, and so yeah, just wanted to celebrate you on that.
Oh man, it's a cool deal, and Sam Lowe really helped me, and DT Gasso Clips did. He helped me a lot too. So it's not all about me here, but it's probably the linchpin of the program of like, this is what you're getting. Okay, I've gotten you. We're prepared. We know who we are as a player. We know who we are as a person. Now let's go attack. And that's kind of, then we start reaching out. And with your son being a 2025, he can take it a little bit slower, and he can be really strategic. Where if he's going to an event outside of Texas that where we don't know really many colleges, he can go and do some research real fast, shoot out 20 DMs the week before he's going to go play in Virginia to all the D3s around there. And if he's caught some attention and gotten some, responses, we can start building that relationship and drop a, hey, I'm playing this weekend in Virginia. I'm coming to you. See what we're doing?
Yeah.
At the baseline, we're making life easy on the college coaches. We're providing them a hot lead if they're interested in who you are as a player, if you're getting a response.
That's good. With the time that we have left, I think that kind of takes us right to a couple questions that I feel like when I talk, I was at our JV end of season party a month ago, sitting with some JV parents, and these were some of the questions that they had for me. And like, I want to have the answers to these. I want to help. But first one is like, whose job is it to get a player recruited?
Oh, that's a great question. I would say in a perfect world, player, parent, high school coach, club coach are all working in symphony to make it happen. Not a perfect world. Some situations you're going to see that. You know who did it incredibly well was Cleve Ryan, connected all those dots. Like, if you want to know how he did that, give him a call. He was incredible at it. But I would say at the baseline, okay, the player needs to be driving the recruitment. If they're a national recruit, people are going to be kind of chasing them and fawning after them. But outside of that, the players, if you really are serious about playing, you have access to Twitter, okay? And you can look up. I mean, even if you don't buy my program, you can go look up every email of every college coach, okay? You need to be the driver. If you want to play, you need to be the driver. The player, I'm talking to you. Parent, I think your best thing that you can be doing right now is holding accountable. You told me you want to play college basketball, but you're not really doing all the things that it takes. You stay in your bed on Saturdays till 1 p.m. reading or looking at TikTok. Your GPA says 2 point something. I think the best way is just to parent them and hold them accountable as a parent.
Yeah.
And say, hey, you told me you wanted this, so I'm going to hold your feet to the fire and show me. And that's what quick plug for the program. It's cheaper than a JUCO class. So if your kid's thinking about playing Division III basketball, it's expensive. So if you want to give them a test, buy my product and see how serious they are.
Love that. That's the tagline right there. No, that's good. What role now can or should the high school coaches play in this?
Yeah, support. First of all, they should know every one of their varsity players, I would say, kind of how serious they are about playing. I think you have a great little barometer. I like that. I'm always looking to make things objective. So like it, love it, live it. I think asking them that question, are you a like it, love it, live it kid? Like, and then if they say something that you don't necessarily agree with, you can say, hey, well, this live it box looks probably like this. I think you may fall into this box because this is what I see from you.
Mm-hmm.
So having these dialogues, and, I think having an understanding of the summer scene really is important, because if you're on a team that's going all around the country, but the player is probably a Division III player, you kind of have this experience of like, you've sent a spectrum of kids to college ranks, and you know what the spectrum is. having him understand, like, and having a parent conversation too of like, hey, I'm not sure that's best for him. I'm not saying discount the team or anything like that. But if you have an understanding that this kid wants to play in Texas and all this stuff, like, he doesn't need to be traveling the country every weekend. A couple events, I get it. Don't get me wrong. But
I think that's important for parents to hear, though, because you could save time and money. Yeah.
You can save time and money. And we have a ton of programs in Texas that are really high academic, that are really, really competitive, that are really, really good at every level in Texas. And then back to the parents, one more thing I would say, and really coaches, like, go see different levels. Like, it's a cool, free, fun outing if you took Grapevine Faith to go watch DBU.
Yep.
They'll see real quickly how good DBU is, like, and how high level. I mean, in DFW, we have NAIA, JUCO, D3, D2, D1. You can see it all. High level. I mean, SMU's in the ACC now.
No doubt. And you know what? You and Blue both said that in your episodes. And I think as a high school coach, and maybe at the, at the TAPS level, I can forget sometimes. Like, I went down and watched Baylor play in the new Foster Pavilion, and they had some of us former players sitting 2 rows behind the bench. And I was sitting next to Jana and Landon. I just was overcome with just how massive all of these people are and how fast they move. But then we went to Sagu versus John Brown, and it was like, these guys are nuts. Last summer, I was able to do the Mavs, I don't know when that was, Mavs Coaches Clinic, and the UTD players were the ones that I was using. I was the shortest dude. And I like, dude. It's UTD, and like, and it's not just talking. That's the thing. You can't belittle or talk down or be dismissive of any level of play in college basketball. Like, they are all incredibly talented, hard to get to, but if you live it, and obviously, like you said, the genetic lottery, like, if you win that, then awesome. But if you're like me or like you and like a lot of guys and you don't, then you got to work. But it can happen for you.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. So I would say, to sum that question up, the player needs to be the driver. And I would say the biggest thing is, for parents and coaches, is communication, understanding where the kid actually is and holding him to it. And then going to see different levels is like a great like, welcome to the world of what you really want. What you say you want.
Thank you for checking out today's episode. Please take a moment to subscribe to this podcast, share it with your fellow coaches, and find us on social media for what's coming up next on the JAMODI podcast. It's just a matter of doing it.